Hello, Flosstube. This is Elizabeth Martinez, phantastitches, and this is my Flosstube update number 252. This is a channel about cross-stitch, in case you were wondering, and we're going to talk about that, about the month of October, what's coming up, what I have plans, various things. It's kind of late. It's after 9 already. Did much stuff today, so I didn't get my video done earlier, but that's okay. So we're all here now, so we can talk about cross stitch. A few things. I have a finish. And I'm thinking I might maybe do a birthday start. And I've got one of the finishes is a WIPGO project. And the other one I hope to finish this month because that's my WIPGO goal for it. And anyway, so let's get started. So first of all, I want to just talk briefly about one of my WIPGO projects from October. I think what I did, I guess I didn't do any more. I was going to do a little more up here to finish this off, and I didn't do it. So I didn't add anything to it. So, but I did meet the 10-day goal for this for the month of October. So that's done. Even though I have a long way to go before I finish it, that was Running with the Wind by Pucker Brush Incorporated. And this is an old booklet. I got it at Michael's, of all places. Yeah, the copyright is 1989, so it's pretty old. Had it for a long time, but I don't think I started it until 2017, 18, something like that. Anyway, so that I did meet that goal. So for my WIPGO goals for this month, for October, so my hair is doing something weird. Number 1 and number 6 were the ones that were called for October. And so my number 1 is I talked about this. Ooh, sorry. Making a mess here. I talked about this last week. This mashup adaptation from Leisure Arts, an adaptation that I made. You know, it was one of these reindeer pulling a sled, and then Santa pulling a sled, and I sort of combined it. So I just duplicated this reindeer. So I had 9 reindeer, and then Santa. And I think what I did was I think one of the designs had just a tree on the sled, and the other one had some gifts on the sled. So I combined it and made the sled a little longer, and had a tree and a gift, something like that. And then, like I said, I think maybe I'll try to do a way to connect the reindeer, like with reins, to the Santa. I don't know. So anyway, that's the little adaptation I did of the design. And so then I worked very briefly on it yesterday. I just did I finished this little reindeer's rear end, and it did his face. And this is just I think there's like, French knots or something to make his nose or whatever. And of course, none of these reindeer have antlers yet. They just have this little little bun top knot thing. And they have like white, and of course it's on a white background. So they have white on their heads, and they each have a white scarf around their neck. It looks like the scarf has backstitching on it, so it shouldn't be a problem. But this white Yeah. There's white above the green. There's a little white, but it's backstitch around it also. So it should show up. The problem, you know, with it is that it's on white material here. So, but the deer are essentially done except for this light brown color on their, you know, on their rear ends and on their faces. So, and I'm doing it sort of a, you know, color as a color completist. I'm working on that lighter tan brown color on each of the deer, and I think I've got, yeah, so on each of them I have left these details on their scarf and stuff like that, and they're kind of like splitting those squares, so that's one of the reasons I hadn't worked on it. But my goal for this month for WIPGO is to finish it. So I still have a lot to do on the Santa, but I've got the whole month to work on it. So hopefully I'll get it done. My other WIPGO was number 6, Beneath the Bough by Chessie and me. And this is just the front. It's a scissor fob. It was a little kit. So it came with the material, the fabric, and all the threads and everything. And this is, like I said, there's just a big picture of the front, but it has the scissor fob has a back to it also. So in my finish, I did the front, and I just have back stitching around it, Smyrna crosses on the bottom of the acorn, satin stitches. You can just see them here. For the top of the acorn, and then I don't know if these are Smyrna crosses. It's dark in here. I can't really see, and I don't have my glasses on, so I don't know if they're regular X's or Smyrna crosses to make the leaves. Maybe I can see it on here. I think they're regular X's, but so there's just Smyrna crosses. You can just make them out here and here for the eyes of the cat. And then there's 3 acorns. There's this one on the front, and there's 2 in the back. And so they all have this satin stitch little cap and Smyrna cross bottom. And so when I did this is the first time I really did Smyrna crosses this small. This is 1/2, but it's a pretty I don't know if it's 36 count linen or whatever, but it's pretty small, and so it's a little sloppier on this one, and this is the back of the thing. So it has a place for you to put your initials. So there's my initials on there, and so this Smyrna cross is a little better. I mean, the Smyrna crosses on here are a little better, and the satin stitching is a little better, but I wasn't keeping very good track, and so it's a little hard to tell if I had the right number. It looks okay, but I had to go back and add 1 or 2 stitches, so I don't even know if I got them right. But this one down here is probably close to perfect. Satin stitches and Smyrna crosses. So I did learn as I went along. But so this is the back of the scissor fob, and like I said, I don't know if I'm going to finish it as a scissor fob or finish it in some other way, but but there it is. So that is that's the back. So yeah, that's my finish. This Beneath the Bough scissor fob kit by Chessie and me. So it's finished. So that is one WIPGO goal met. And then I talked last week about the October Rabbit. And this lighter colored rabbit is these are all in silks, and I did get the silks for them, because there's only like 13 of them, and they're used over and over again in different combinations for each month. So so they're, you know, all tied together with, you know, with the different silk colors, but there's only 13 of them that, you know, like I said, are used in different combinations. So, but the models were all stitched on shale linen is what it's called by Picture This Plus. So of course I did, this is 36 count, but I did mine on 32 count Murano Carré, the different colors that Hobby Lobby has. So Spa, Ice, Pink Splash, Fur, Mustard, Rust, and Gray and Taupe are gingham colors. So I've been using the different things, and you know, I've used them more than once on some of them or whatever, but I had not used this rust color. And these are the colors for this particular rabbit. Is this the? No. So I did a floss toss for all of these colors, and they all looked like they would work. So these are the colors for this particular one, and they're all Gloriana silks, right? So this design calls that you stitch with one strand of silk, you know, because that's the way these silk threads are. Use one strand of silk over two, right? And that's the first rabbit. You can't even see it. You know, you can kind of see it up close if you're staring at it in here on screen, but you know, it doesn't really show up, right? It certainly doesn't pop. All the other colors look pretty good, so I think what I'm going to do is go with a different color, because like I said, on here, this is the, you know, it looks completely different. It looks a little orangey, more than what the color is called brick, and it looks a little more like a brick, you know, a little red, a little brownish, a little reddish, and it's pretty variegated. There you can see it there. So I think what I'm going to do is just change that one color, and since the rabbit is like face to face with this darker color rabbit, right? And this color looks okay. So, and I don't think the color that I'm thinking of clashes too much, or, you know, I could go with this winter white and make a white rabbit to face the brown rabbit. But I think what I'm going to do is choose either something like this, which is called Quince Blossom. And it's just an off-white kind of color. Almost brown, almost tan, I should say, not brown. Or maybe this color, which is Tangerine Dark. So, you know, it should show up without being too different, and it's not too much like any of these other colors. It's very different. So I might use that instead of the brick color. Now I don't know which. Okay, these go over here, I think. I'm making a mess here. Anyway, so I'll probably leave that there and just do another corner start elsewhere on the fabric, just so I don't have to pluck that one out. But so there's that one. So like I said, I don't know when exactly I'll work on that some more, because I do want to finish that Christmas towel thing, and that's probably going to take all of the rest of the month to make sure that I finish it. But I'm also, I'm doing a couple of things at the same time as WIPGO. As far as challenges go, I'm doing the Witchy Stitchy 2022 challenge, and that is just to stitch at least 30 minutes a day during the month of every day during the month of October. I think you get like 4 skip days, over the course of the month. But right now, I don't anticipate taking advantage of any of those days. It could maybe I will one if I as it comes up. But anyway, right now I don't plan to do that. So starting on the 1st of October, I've done at least 30 minutes or mostly more each day. So I did on the 1st. I spent some time with this rabbit for my invisible rabbit, as somebody said. But I did finish the scissor fob, and then I'm also participating in the cross stitch camp. It started in September, the sample September, but goes through to the end of the year through December. So I'm almost finished with the project that I chose for that. And that is the Bunny Sampler by, it's another Chessie and me chart. Sorry about that glare, but that's photograph. So it's a very tiny photograph taken, so you can see it better this way. So the alphabet that's here, these little scattered letters, is 1/1. And this little rabbit is 1/1. And this little plant is regular X's, except the leaves are Smyrna crosses. And these are all stitched with 1 thread. And there's a little border around there that's just regular X's. And then this down here, you can personalize it with your own initials. And the year you can personalize also. And this little heart, the outline of this heart and these letters and the year are done with 1 thread over 2, but they're Smyrna crosses. And I had started off doing the initials, and I got all, it's EAM, right, are my initials, and I got all the way to the M, and I realized, oh, they're supposed to be Smyrna crosses. I forgot. I was just like I was all happy, going, oh, the X's. And then I remembered, oh yeah, they're supposed to be Smyrna crosses. So I took it all out and went back and redid it. So I did all the letters and the outline of the heart, and then the inside of the heart is going to be satin stitches. So I have to do that. And then the hill here, the called for is Classic Colorworks. Gentle Arts. These are Gentle Arts colors with 1 DMC color, but they did. I looked for the Gentle Arts Avocado is the color that's called for, and I didn't have that and couldn't find it offhand, so I substituted Classic Colorworks Peapod. So this is my progress. So this is all filled in with the for the grass, and then like I said, the satin stitches here. But that's really all that I have to do. All that I have left is satin stitch this, and it's 2 threads of this red color, which is Briar Rose, right? So there, and then this pea pod, the grass is all this hill is filled in with pea pod. I did the rabbit, and I got right up to the end. I think I talked before about with this particular chart that I don't know if it's the fabric or the needle or the thread itself, but I have had trouble with the thread, like just breaking, from the friction of going through. So I don't know if like I said before, if maybe a bigger needle would help, because it would kind of spread the threads a little bit. And then, you know, of course, I think the threads would relax back into place afterward. But to you know, sort of spread the threads and reduce the friction a little bit, or whatever. I know some people have used thread conditioner, you know, and maybe that would have helped it a little bit, but help it glide through a little easier. But anyway, so it is what it is. But I got on this bunny, that's why the one ear is I probably should have used the other end of the thread or something. But like I got it almost up to, almost finished this bunny ear, and probably the thread was long enough to have finished his ear. But right around in here, it broke. And so you know, where it broke off, I had to like snip it a little bit to clean up the little raggedy edges, and I couldn't, it wasn't, the piece that was left on the needle was not long enough to finish the bunny's ear. So I had to start a new thread just to do like maybe 6 stitches on the ear. But I think I used the wrong end of the thread. So his one ear is a little darker than the other. But yeah, you can see the variegation a bit on the rabbit. But this rabbit is 1/1. So all of this above the hill is done, except right here is a spider rose, it's called. So you stitch the 5 spokes of the rose of the flower, and then you weave in and out of those spokes until you do, like, I think 12 rows on that flower to make it big. So I have been putting that off because it's hard and scary sounding, but it's with this briar rose color also, this big flower. So yeah, it's almost done. Just the inside of the heart, the green to fill in here, and then that big rose. And these are all Smyrna crosses here. So yeah, this bunny sampler by Chessie and me. That is almost done. And so the other thing is, my birthday is on Monday. And so I have a little bit of birthday. Oh, I just bought another pair of scissors because I have an addiction. We were at Hobby Lobby, and I had to, you know, pick out a couple of threads, and went ahead and got some scissors. There was something I was working on, and I, you know, was scrambling around and couldn't find another pair of scissors, and so I thought, well, you know, it wouldn't hurt to have another pair. Oh, I went there to get a small hoop because I couldn't stitch this little tiny thing in hand, and I had given my I had a little hoop at one point, a tiny hoop, and I had given it away. I'd given it to, I don't know if I gave it to my niece Hannah or somehow. Anyway, I didn't have it. I couldn't find it. Didn't have it. Whatever. So I had to buy another tiny hoop, and that's why I was at Hobby Lobby, and that's why I bought the scissors. So for my birthday, my sisters gave me a couple of things. Even though my birthday is on Monday, I got a couple of them a little bit early. So my sister Eve, she was sort of reminding herself how to make these vinyl front bags, and messed this one up, so she gave it to me. But it has a fancy zipper here, and has this sunflower fabric, and this blue sky fabric. So it's kind of summery, but it's very it's good all year round. You know, I like the sunflowers. They remind me of I used to watch the Tour de France all the time. And there's a well-known shot that has there's a field of sunflowers, and they use that as one of their publicity shots, you know, whatever. But yeah, so I have this nice vinyl front quilted project bag that my sister made, and then my other sister Naomi gave me this cross stitch kit. It comes with the fabric and all the threads. And the reason it has a lot of this ecru colored thread is that all of this background behind the Kachina dolls here is all stitched. It's full coverage. So, yeah. So, because it has this white Ada cloth, or I can't tell if it's white or ecru. It's white, I think, but so the kit contains 14 count Ada cloth, 6-strand embroidery floss, graph needle color photo, and instructions. The amount of floss needed has been calculated using 3 strands, but I won't do that. I'll do it with 2 strands. It has this, which is it comes from the Ye is a stylized Navajo deity which came from sand painting designs of religious healing ceremonies. So it says, let me actually take this out of the bag so we make it easier to read and less glary for you to look at. Sorry. Take this. I'm a little hesitant to take it out of the bag because of the kit. I have to shove it back in there. But so this is Rugs of the Southwest series. I don't know if it says who the designer is, but it's just Southwest Decoratives is the company here. And let's say, when used in a rug context, however, the Ye is symbolic and has no specific religious meaning. Will Evans, the trader at Shiprock, which is a town in the northwest corner of New Mexico, from 1912 to 1948, he was a trader, is credited with the development of the style. The rug has slender front-facing figures, often surrounded by a border-like element, the rainbow goddess, a guardian to protect the contents of the space. Often incorporated are corn stalks, one of the 4 sacred plants of the Navajo, in addition to squash, tobacco, beans, arrows, and feathers. You can see all those elements in here. The Ye rug is different from the Ye Bichi style, sorry I butchered that, which characterizes side views of a line of dancers. Bright colors are often used, and the rug lends itself as a wall hanging. So that's a little bit about the general history of it. So the stitch count is 129 by 87, so it's relatively big. Designed by Patti Grandel, that's what it says. So my sister said, my brother-in-law pointed out that it's kind of like the Three Sisters, Three Sisters Creative. So, yeah. So there's a little corn stalk there. You can't quite see the corn silk there. But there's a little corn stalk there. And so there's the one figure. And then the other 2. So yeah, that was one of the things I got from my birthday. So I think maybe I'll start that, on my birthday. Do a birthday start for that. And I think that's about it, because I talked last week about the new charts that I got at the attic. And so, like I said, I want to restart that rabbit with the different color, and then do a birthday start for the with the this rug design, and finish the Christmas towel. So I think I've got my stitching planned out for the month of October. Yeah, so I did get the one WIPGO thing out of the way, so so that's a good thing. So hopefully, I was going to say that I'd seen some news about the balloon fiesta, and I guess this weekend they kind of got rained out a little bit. I don't know if there's going to be any activities on Sunday or not. Sunday closes out the balloon fiesta, so I know that Friday they had a lot of rain, and they were sort of evacuating the park at first, and then they did a shelter in place order or whatever. So whoever was there at the balloon fiesta had to sort of wait it out a little bit until it stopped raining, I guess. And my brother's band that he plays with, Santana, Mirage is the name of the band, but it's a Santana tribute band kind of thing. And they were supposed to play at the balloon fiesta. We went last year with my dad. We went to see my brother play. We went to the balloon fiesta. We hadn't been in years, but so we went last year with my dad, which was really nice. So he got to hear my brother's band play, and my dad is not into Santana music, but he really enjoyed the concert, and he enjoyed seeing my brother play, and my brother loved having my dad there and everything. So that was really good last year, but I have a feeling my brother was supposed to play this weekend, which means they got rained out yesterday, and today was Saturday. All the activities were canceled because of the weather. I guess they got rained out again. So that was kind of sad. So I'm assuming my brother's band didn't get to play. I don't know if they got to play before it started raining or whatever. I haven't asked him yet. I haven't talked to him about that. So. But so there is supposed to be another mass ascension, I think, on Sunday to close out the festival, but I don't know if that's going to happen or not. So, because there was supposed to be, I think, a what they call a glodio, a balloon glow, where tonight, like where the balloons are there on the ground, and they light their little burners. And it makes it glows through the outside of the balloon, so you can see it. It's really nice. It's really neat. They do that at Christmas time also. They'll have a few balloons in a local park, whatever, doing a balloon glow thing as part of Christmas lights. So they were supposed to do that last night, but again, because of the weather, they were unable to do that. But they had good flying weather at the beginning of the week. They did start on Saturday. My sister reminded me, that it started on Saturday. So the first was the first day of the balloon fiesta, and so this Sunday, like I said, is supposed to be the end of it. So that my fingers crossed for the balloon fiesta, because I know that it's kind of hard on the vendors to have the activities canceled and all that, and it's sad for people who took the time and money to go out there to the balloon fiesta just to have it sort of have everything canceled and all that. So sad. But anyway, so I have my work cut out for me for the month of October, and we shall see what I shall get done. And that is about it, I think. So I will see you next week. And until then, happy stitching. Let me know what you think about the rabbit situation. If you have an opinion about that, let me know. So I will see you next week, and happy stitching. Bye. Thanks for watching.